Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you are doing well, enjoying this beautiful weather we seem to be having a lot of these days. It is, of course, a Monday, therefore, time for a Monday message. Here is what is on my mind this morning. I want you to know that our worship ministry team and our ministerial staff, Rebecca, Chris, and Jody and I, continue having conversations about when we were able to gather together again for worship. They are fluid and changing as things around us are fluid and changing. There are really two questions in particular that are guiding our conversations. One is when, and the other is how. The when question, in large part, of course, is determined by state authorities, and when they say that houses of worship can gather again, we will certainly not gather until they say it is safe to do so. But the other part of that is that just because the state authority says that it's time and churches can get back together again, that does not necessarily mean that we have to get back together again. It will ultimately be the decision of session and will in large part be determined by how we address the other question, which is how. We've already talked about how there are going to be some things in our worship service that will need to be adapted and changed to provide good social distancing and other safe kinds of practices. And we will not be gathering together in worship until those how questions are addressed in full and we have all the proper protocols in place. So all that is to say that we are still up in the air about when that will be. But I just want you to know that your leadership are having conversations all the time about when it is safe to do so, how we do it. And then we will hopefully get to see you all soon, sooner rather than later. I mentioned in worship yesterday that the Thursday Connect email, we will have a list of all of our graduates, primarily high school and college undergrad. Names and addresses. And I really want to encourage everybody to just bombard our graduates with congratulatory cards and notes. They are missing out on so much their senior year. We want to give them something to celebrate and something to feel good about. So between now and Thursday, get those writing hands ready. And thanks for helping make our graduates feel so valued and appreciated. I have some good news to share. We received word this past Friday that our application for the payroll protection plan from the Federal CARES Act was approved. Just as a reminder, these are funds that are available to businesses to help sustain payrolls for roughly a 2-month period. And if on the other side of the pandemic, businesses are able to show that all positions have been retained, then the loan is forgiven and it essentially becomes a grant. So this is wonderful news, obviously, for our congregation as we are striving to meet our financial obligations and certainly pay our staff. I do want to share that it is not a silver bullet. The image I prefer is of it being a tool in our toolbox, in our vast tools that we have of trying to do what we need to do financially for the church. So it is essentially like a hammer, which is great if you need to bang some nails in. But this is not going to do the trick if you've got to measure something or you need to clip something off or you've got a screw that you've got to screw in. So your giving as you are able continues to be a very vital part of our toolbox as we strive to maintain the financial health of our church. So thank you for doing that. And again, we celebrate the fact that we've received this loan/grant as one of the tools in our toolbox. As this stay-at-home drags on, I am reminded of how things are just becoming more discombobulated. We don't know when the end of it is going to be, and we are missing out on so much, and that just feels, to borrow a biblical image, like being in a strange and foreign land. I'm reminded of a vision that the prophet Ezekiel had when he and the Israelites were in Babylonian captivity. He had this bizarre vision. There's a lot of stuff about it that's pretty strange. But one part of that vision that has always stuck out to me is sort of God coming on this platform, and underneath are this wheel in a wheel. This idea that God is mobile and God travels to where the people are, that was a new thing because the Israelites had always assumed that the Holy Land was where God was. And so when they were taken from Israel, it wasn't just their Holy Land and their homeland that they were torn away from, but in some ways they felt as if they were torn away from their God. And now here comes God, this vision, wheel in a wheel. I often share that image with our college freshmen when they are in a strange and foreign land after 18 years of knowing how everything was, just to remind them that in their new period in their life that God is with them. I share that image with you all now. If you are feeling a little lost, a little discombobulated, not being able to really feel like you're settled because so much around you is unsettled, please know that God comes to you where you are and is right there with you through it all, providing you with comfort and giving you strength to do the things that you need to do. My friends, I encourage you to continue reaching out to one another. That is the way that we are church in this strange time, or one of the ways that we are church. Be safe, be kind, and be church. Take care. We'll see you later.